Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for being here this rainy evening. We have an unwelcomed guest of Milton, possibly, in the vicinity, so we very much appreciate you being here for this powerful opportunity to be able to speak to Ofri. We have, since October 7th, been finding ways to bring as much Israel into the presence here at Congregation B'nai Israel. We helped to create an Israel auxiliary called Am Yisrael Chai, which is solely focused on all things Israel, education, speakers, lunch and learns. And so as part of that, we had the opportunity yesterday evening to be able to commemorate the 7th with a program here last night with Dan Nichols, a Jewish musician. And this evening, we get to hear from Ofri Reiner. And we imagine it's going to be a very powerful and very important story for all of us. I want to, again, thank everyone that's here. I want to thank very much JNF-USA for their constant partnership. I feel like it's not even a partnership anymore. We're just buddies. We're just friends. And we are so blessed to be this close to not just the organization of JNF-USA, which is incredible. And if you don't know enough about it, for the next 4.5 hours that we're here together, we're going to be talking about how great JNF-USA is, but also the people that help run the local JNF-USA are just the true definitions of mensches. And so we are so blessed to have that relationship. So thank you so much to JNF-USA. We are, of course, very thankful to have our auxiliary here. Like I mentioned, our Am Yisrael Chai auxiliary. We have two co-chairs, Ali Myrick and Rachel Weiner. And so we are really thrilled for that as well. And Alexander, who's sitting up here, is our staff member for Am Yisrael Chai, who does everything and prepares everything and runs around and takes care of all of the details for us, and is pretty fabulous in her own right. So thank you for, I don't want to say celebrating, but marking this moment together, because that's what it's going to be about. It's going to be about marking this moment. The 7th of October in 23 changed us completely. Some more, some less, but I don't think any Jew on the planet of the 16 million of us didn't feel something or was somehow not affected by the 7th. So many evils, so many horrors, so much darkness. And yet, because we're a Jewish community, we find ways to bring forward our true characters, our own personal character, our collective character, and our determination, and mostly, as we live by, for the words of Hatikva, hope that lives so deeply within all of us. That, by the way, is the essence of so much of what JNF-USA does. So much the essence of what JNF does, and in a Zionist forward love of Israel. Collective spirit, shared tears, victories, unwavering belief in hope and life, and that's what helps to define JNF-USA. I'm proud to say I'm a rabbi for Israel, which is part of the JNF program. I think even recently I was put on the board of it. I don't even know that. I'm on some board of it now. It's a fancy photo of me on the website. It's very exciting. And so we're really not just a family, but we are the true force that makes these Jewish connections for the entire Jewish community that connects to Israel. And so in this awful time of challenge, JNF-USA has been doubling down on committing to rebuilding and reimagining through the Israel Resilience Campaign and the Build Together campaign, which aren't just initiatives, but they're reflections of what we're going to do together and how we're going to work hand in hand with the communities in what we are now calling the Israel envelope, not the Gaza envelope. The Reimagine plan focuses on Israel's northern regions, which if you watch the news doesn't do justice on what's happening in Israel really at all, but particularly what's happening in the north. And so the Reimagine plan focuses on the north and the devastating conflict and the Hezbollah rockets that have been falling on Israel since October 8th. That's why JNF is bringing displaced residents to the U.S. through Reality to Imagine Caravan and all these other beautiful stories that make our connection so deep. As a community, Congregation B'nai Israel last year raised $30,000 to build 3 JNF bomb shelters. And if you want more information about that, you can talk to Liana right there. There's a QR code, because, you know, it's 24. We have a QR code for it. Even more so, I'll tell you the relationships go beyond Congregation B'nai Israel and beyond JNF-USA, is that we are so blessed in our community to not just to have a Jewish community support, but our neighbor next door, Spanish River Church, from the beginning, since pretty much October 7th, has been our partner and our ally in all of this, so much so that there's going to be a program on the 27th of this month, and it's being held at the church. They want the JNF-USA program to be held there, not just at a synagogue. That's how important this relationship is for them. So like I said, for any other information, contact Liana. She's our director for South Palm Beach County, and she's sitting right there. And she's very nice. Now I'd like to introduce Ofri Reiner. She is a resilient Israeli survivor of a harrowing Nova massacre. At just 21 years old, she has faced the darkest trials with so much spirit. Her journey is deeply intertwined with the tragedy of war. Her beloved brother, Shalev, served as a combat soldier in Golani 51 and tragically lost his life. Yet, Ofri is more than just a survivor. She is a storyteller who weaves the threads of her family's journey into her own through her public speaking, which is eloquent. Just chatted with her and I thought she was an American. And her profound impact of mixture of her eloquence and the loss and the grief and the trauma, but the inspiration and the strength that she has and that we have as a community. She found a way as an artist to discover new paths to healing through creativity. Her artwork captures both the agony of loss and the glimmers of hope that emerge from darkness. She's also no stranger to the battlefield. Until October 7th, she served as a combat soldier and commander in search and rescue, confronting challenges with unwavering bravery. Her firsthand experiences lend a unique perspective to her narrative. In a world darkened by tragedy and uncertainty, Ofri Reiner stands as a beacon of hope for us, reminding us that Am Yisrael Chai, the nation of Israel, lives on, and we are united, and we are strong. It is our honor to have you here, Ofri.
Wait. Can you hear me now? Okay. Hi, good evening. It's hard for me to stand still, so I'll probably just walk around back and forth. I don't know how you've experienced October 7th, yesterday. But I did everything that I could to not experience October 7th. I was on my own, driving from Tampa to here because of the weather. I think my brain tried to do anything but delve into those days. I needed so desperately just to keep my routine on, because I live October 7th every day for a year now. Yesterday was just a number, a very hard number, but today is it's not easier, not tomorrow and not in a few weeks, not up until the war will be over. My name is Ofri Reiner. I'm 22. I live in Haifa, in the north. All my friends and family are now hiding in the shelters, in between a shower or in between a nap. They just run to their safe space. Like I said, a year is just a number, but here I am, and it's harder to find decent word to describe what I feel. I remember myself a year ago, still in the army, in my base, just getting her week off for Sukkot, wanting to celebrate my time. I bought the ticket to the Nova Festival 2 months from before with 4 of my friends, and I was very ready for this party. For us, celebrating and dancing to the sweat, it's like getting to know people on a deeper level, because when you look at somebody's and his eyes and he enjoys himself, you smile at him back, and this connection is just magical. 6:29 is the sunrise. It's right the moment when the party changes from a night party to a day party. Suddenly you see all the people's faces, the best DJ is on, and the music is booming in your head, and you know that you're infinite because you're young, you're fearless, and you're just having fun. At 6:29, the rockets started to come. Can you press one? I will not speak very elaborately about every detail now, because I feel like for me it's too draining, especially now. In October 7th, this is a photo that my friend with me took along the break. Behind us, the mushroom clouds of smoke. We were driving by car. We tried to drive towards the north and then towards the south. 3,000 people walking in the same direction. Complete chaos everywhere. They did some kind of a checkpoint at the left and at the right and started shooting at us from both of these places. So the only place we could have gone is to go back to the parking lot. We lingered in the parking lot for some time, up until I had to go out of my car because I had to go outside. And then they targeted me and my friend from a few meters. We took the car and we tried to run away from there. We drive through a potato field. After some time, the car got stuck in the soft soil of the potato field, and they kept shooting at us. So we had 1 second of grace to start running. We ran like sitting ducks, straight forward to an unknown future, until we found ourselves walking in the creeks of the forest, our bloody south full with that creeks and trees and fields. We were walking like that for 11 miles. 19 kilometers for 4 hours straight with no water, no basic things to manage with. At some point, you could differentiate between the rockets and the missiles and the RPGs and the shotguns, but at this point, all you could hear is just noise. You don't know if you're getting closer or further away. But I think that I'm blessed because when I look back at this memory, I'm always relying into the one story that gave me hope during this time. When we were walking on this 19 kilometers, we arrived to a pomelo field, and out of thirst, out of dehydration, fruit was the best source of water we could have tried to look for. So we started to pick pomelos down from the trees, peeled it off and gave it a bite. But the pomelos were bitter, didn't have any juice in it. After this field of pomelos, we arrived to an orange field. But the oranges were green, didn't seem like they're ready to be taken down. But I took the shot because what do I have to lose? I took one orange down, I peeled it off and gave it a bite, and it was the best orange I've ever tasted. And from that point on, I just started yelling to everyone, "Atapuzim, atapuzim, the oranges, the oranges." So you'd see 1,000 people walking in the same direction. We were about 1,000 people, splitting apart, trying to pick as many oranges that they could. The one opens up an orange and gave all the slices to the people next to him, and then the other one opens up an orange. It's so symbolic, the fact that those two, there are few pieces in one orange that you need to tear and gave everyone apart. And I feel like this was very symbolic for me. That was the first thing that I rely when I think about October 7th, because I think about hope. I think about the people I saw on the way. I think about the Israeli civilians that saw us when we arrived to Kibbutz Patish. After those 11 miles, we arrived to a kibbutz. People from their Shabbat dinner came with huge pots with food from their own dinner and just started plating to us food, because this is how we know how to bring love. One civilian in particular came and asked how he could help. We were 5 people. 4 of us walked in this path, and the driver, Aviad, was stuck in the forest for 6 hours. He hid there. So we sent one of the civilians, Aviad's live location, and the civilian came back to the battlefield, took Aviad and 2 more girls, and this is how we survived. Nobody told me that my generation is going to have stories of bravery. Nobody saw something unique in our own generation. I'm 2002. I think we never imagined this is the position that we have to be now. My way to try and go through the thoughts and feelings that I have is art. I never drew before October 7th. I was always writing and reading, but it felt like my subconscious wouldn't let me when I was after October 7th. The words just simply couldn't come out. And at that point, I just started to draw. At first, I wanted to make everything black, just so I could not hear and not listen. And after some time and a night where I couldn't sleep, I drew the girl, along with a lot of charcoal sketches of our break. These are all names of people that fell in the Nova. I wrote them down, name after name, for 6 hours straight, because I simply couldn't live with my own guilt of being alive. And the only thing I could have done is to write them down on the paper so it will be part as mine. Now, when I'm displaying it and showing them to you on the table, I added my brother's name, Shalev Dagan. My parents are divorced. When I was 7, my father met a new woman. Her name is Flor. This is my father. I have a little sister. Her name is Carmel. So we are 2 daughters of Shlomi. And my dad met Flor, and Flor had 2 twin sons, Omer and Shalev. We were fantastic 6 since very fast. We are all pretty much in the same ages. I'm 22, they're 21, my sister's 20. So every holiday and every week we had together, we would have spent it just like a very big, happy family. I came back home at about 6 p.m. to the warm embrace of my little sister, Carmel, to my mother's home. I was so relieved to see her. My first thought that came into mind when I had this fear of death was that I said goodbye to my sister without telling her that I love her the day before. So I wanted to approach her and to give her a warm hug of I'm here again. But she was concerned. She looked at me and said that my brother is missing. After 3 more days, the officers came and informed us that he is dead. It took a week and a half to bury his body. Trauma is something that I feel like I can actively do a lot more about. But grief, it's something that just comes up no matter how much I speak about it. I can tell the story of the Nova break so easily, but still every time I come to the point where I understand that at this same day, at the same time, my brother, a Golani 51 soldier, sought out to defeat in front of 1,500 terrorists with additional 23 soldiers, all in all. They were fighting with bravery 6.5 miles away from where I was in a rain parking lot. When I look at the map, I understand that Shalev mentally and physically saved my life. Shalev had a majestic smile and beautiful eyes. He was one of those kids that could have gone away from anything just because he had a very cute smile and he knew exactly how to pull. He never had his first love, never had a girlfriend. I remember myself thinking in the Shiva, how can a person die without having his first love? Shalev loved his country from the bottom of his heart. He chose to be in Golani Brigade, one of the first lines of the war. And he knew that he's going to be a part of the war. In July in the same year, he spoke to his mother and told her, "Mom, just so you know, there's going to be a war, and I will probably participate in it. Just so you know that I'm completely okay with everything that is about to happen. And I'm willing to sacrifice my life for you to live better ones. אני מוכן להקריב את החיים שלי בשביל שאתם תחיו חיים טובים יותר." But Shalev wasn't special. When I come to the diaspora and I speak about our army, our military, it's hard to explain a country that is built over her soldiers, that when a mother is giving birth to 2 children, she knows that in 18 years from now, they will no longer be hers. It's hard to explain how much I love my own country, even though I know he took my innocence and took my brother. October 7th led me here to the diaspora trying to find a way to fight October 7th. Because in Israel now things are devastating. I can't be more clear. I chose this opportunity to reach to different audiences that are not from Israel because it brought me a lot of light into my life. It brought me so much hope to stand here and understand that we are not the only ones who's participating in this same pain. I'm always moved by seeing your sad faces looking at me. Not even the sad faces, just the understanding faces. I know that we're not standing in the same position and that the loss and grief that I've dealt with is not the same as yours, but there's no room for comparison here. The fact that October 7th affected us all, touched each and every one of us in different kind of the heart, and explained us and showed us so vividly what is so hard to forget. I saw it, it's written right over here, that we exist because Israel exists. And the first time I've been here in the diaspora, spoke with high schoolers in Shalhevet High School in LA, I finally felt it. I felt like I was embraced. I felt like I was respected. I felt like people could share my own pain, and it didn't feel so heavy on my body and on my chest. Going through October 7th alone, as well as Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, Simchat Torah, and on, is my way to gain my own hope and to bring you some of mine. October 7th didn't leave any family whole. Everyone in Israel has its own story, its own pain. But it's not only Israelis that were affected, it's the whole Jewish identity that was struck inside of us. But I want to speak specifically about my own generation. I'm 22, which means that all my friends are still reserved in the army. All of us, all of this range of ages, has got the most casualties in this war. We thought that Israel is an obvious thing. We were served Israel on a silver platter. We thought that everything is fine. And then the responsibility over October 7th broke like a huge chandelier that was just struck over the floor, and everyone needed to pick their own pieces and to understand what they're doing with it. And it's sharp, and it's hard, but everyone knew that they have to take part in it. My friends from my unit are still fighting for their lives in Zikim. Shalev will always look at me from above, seeing what I do for my country. All my friends are still in Gaza and Lebanon. We all know now that we have nowhere else to go. We all felt it in our own womb that our country is something that we can refer almost as a human being. I gained so much emotions towards my land, towards my legacy, towards my generations of Jewish people, my great-grandparents who were Holocaust survivors that found themselves living in Israel, proud. My great-grandfather, that while he was in hospital and the Memorial Day siren was, he got up with all of his injections and kept and stood because he wanted to commemorate. This is the narrative that I'm living on. This is the narrative that all of us are living on, and now we're experiencing it by heart. I see us just like anemones. Anemone is the national flower of Israel. in the south, the same bloody land that I was running in the winter. Just a vast, beautiful range of kalaniot is spread all across like a beautiful map. All of the families are coming from the north, from everywhere to the south just to see this beautiful flower. But this flower is different. It varies between day and night. At night, when the uncertainty comes, all its petals reunite with its own stem. And in the morning, when the first rays of sunlight hit the flower itself, it feels comfortable enough to open up again. I feel like us are just like the anemones. While the war is still occurring and an existential threat is still beyond our heads, it's hard to see behind the swamp. It's hard to look to the future and understand what's going on. But the most beautiful part in us is that we are not referring ourselves to someone else or towards negative emotions toward the other side. The only things we are focused on is to stay reunited, to embrace ourselves together, to reunite with our own stem. And then when we'll feel secure enough, we could bloom way more beautiful than it was before. I want to leave some room for questions because I know that this day probably left a lot of you with no words. I will try to say as much as I can. Is there any questions?
So before October 7th, there was a lot of political division within the country. And in light of everything...
Can you just do it afterwards and not now? Thank you.
I'm sorry. There was a lot of political division within the country. And in light of everything that happened, and thank God for the successes of the Israeli military, do you feel like now, like the country is united and is hopeful for the future?
It's a hard question to ask, especially when the war is still occurring. I think that the division that was before the war is still there, as long as things are not going to change, because we're in a very hard status quo right now, especially when the war is still happening. But I'm no politician. I'm a 22-year-old girl. I just saw the magic in its work. I saw the first day of October 7th as something magical, because each and every one from Israel took themselves from their day job, from whatever they wanted to do, and just helped, because they understand that this is our opportunity to do it. And I think that I maybe not speak for all of us, but this magical moment when all of Israel was one was so unique, and it's easily can be brought up back. We just need to have good reminders of that.
How did you decide to come here and not stay there?
It's already my second tour. I'm doing this for quite a lot. I sincerely believe that while my friends are still reserved and their life are completely shut off, this is my way to fight October 7th. This is my way to be active towards what I'm feeling. This is my way to bring first-hand testimony to here. And I believe that when I'm approaching, especially to the youngsters, and I'm so happy to see that there is a lot of youngsters in the crowd, we can change the dialogue, because we don't come from a place of politics. We just come from shared pain. And coming with no envy or resentment towards the other side, only from a place that is hurt and want to express his mourning, is something that is fresh here in the States. And I'm glad that I'm doing it, because I know that not enough are doing it. I think that this kind of event can draw off a lot of emotions out of you. And the negative emotions towards the past, such as resentment or envy or anger or revenge, all of these are parts of my body. But I actively choose to set them aside because I want to focus. I was so overwhelmed with what I've gone through on October 7th that I simply couldn't look back towards the past, and I couldn't look to the future. I was only at the present, and I was so held back and on my own journey that I decided to actively put that aside. I don't know if that's I don't know how spiritual it sounds, but I feel like now when I look back and I do zoom out, I can weave us through the history, the Jewish history, and understand that it's just another part of the way. And I'm very, very positive to know that if we go through the Holocaust and so many more, we could go through October 7th just as much. And it's hard because to look at the past, it's the only thing we know. We can't look at the future with some kind of knowing. But this is what I'm trying to bring back to myself every time.
What do you need from us, right? Like, how can we help? Because you're, like the rabbi said, hit it nail on nail. It was eloquent and thoughtful, and everything you're saying really is how I'm feeling, and I'm sure a lot of other people are feeling. So then, how do we help you? How do we help you? What else do you need from us?
First of all, the first that you are here is already what I needed. It's glad to still know that that after a year, I can still be here and be so strong. I think that relations between the Jews in the diaspora and the Jews in Israel is something that is so important, but it's still pretty neglected. And the fact that you're here as a community, the first thing I think is just to make the link between the Americans and the Israelis better. Because you are here on the other side of the globe facing anti-Semitism that is rising and rising, and you feel it too. I mean, we are not the only ones who's fighting. This is another battle that we need to fight on. And to even be a proud Jew here, it's already a hard task to do. So I encourage each and every one of you to step out of this room a year after October 7th to find 3 non-Jewish people that never heard about it, or just sitting in the fence. I think that 90% of the people here in the States are too afraid to show their own opinion or just simply don't know enough. And to approach to non-Jewish people with our own shared pain, not from a place of politics, can really rise up a lot of good outcomes.
I have a question. I know that you wish a tour to be made in honor of your brother. Can you talk more about it, please?
Yes, it already happened. It's now in the making. When I was here in my first tour, we made a tour scroll for my brother. And it was very magical because our neighborhood in Kiryat Yam is a very new neighborhood. And since day one, when they heard that Shalev was died, they were putting Hatikva from the porches, and we were all standing together. So many people came to the Shiva just to show respect. It really felt like it's a national mourning instead of just personal mourning. So this community is now having a new synagogue and a Torah school under my brother's name. Yes. It is very, very strong. And it's hard to rely onto that because in the news all we hear is just negative clickbaits that draws us into the stress, the trauma again and again. But those kind of moments are the one that's keeping me here because I truly believe that people here are simply naturally good. And it's something that is very, very nice to keep in mind. Thank you so much.
אני מכיר, בקריות, אני מכיר את קריית גת, אני הייתי שם הרבה פעמים. וואו, זה יופי. If those words and Ofri's presence don't ignite you and realize the work that we have to do, I'm not sure what else would. So I think we have to take the words and her presence and her hope and her courage and her strength, and this is what has to drive us moving forward. All of the stories and all of the moments. Another connection to JNF-USA is another good friend who I've gotten to know and hang out with, formally and informally, is Zohar Vlasky. He's the Global Executive Director of Zionist Education, and he previously served for Karen Kayemet, JNF. That's the sort of Israeli counterpart as representative to the U.S., former lieutenant colonel in the IDF, commanded education units, and he has implemented training programs in Jewish and Zionist identity, Holocaust studies, Jewish leadership, culture, and so not only do we have Ofri here, but we have Zohar as well to share a couple of words with us, and we are really honored to have you here as well, Zohar.
Thank you so much, Rabbi. You hear me? Now you hear me?
Yeah, it's
Okay.
better, yeah.
Okay. Presentation. Yeah. First, I would love to connect to our amazing guest speaker, but actually she's not guest. We are all together. And I would love to take the opportunity to connect to your story, to your personality, to your Israelity that you brought to here. And you say in very simple words how we can make the connection, how we can make the bridge, in different words, between Am Israel and Am Yehudi. And it's very confused to say, because where is Am Israel? Here? Or Am Israel is in Israel, and Am Yehudi is here, but we are all together, Am Israel Chai. So I think from those stories, and from Ofri personal story, and from the story, or my personal story that I would love to share with you very, very shortly, and to connect to Ofri story, because all those are kind of puzzle and we try to build the puzzle, but maybe we never, it will be never complete, but we wish and we need to do it and to do it together. I would love to connect to your story in your last slide. Your last slide was the Kalanit, anemone, and another one. This is my best friend, Achi Verei. It's more than my dude. Is Ofir Lipstein. Ofir Lipstein, Zichrono Livracha, was the mayor of Sha'ar HaNegev. And related to your last slide, Kalanit, I will say in Hebrew, he was the creator and the founder of the Kalanit Festival in Israel, Darom Adom. Darom Adom, red, south. And this festival every year, as a mayor of Sha'ar HaNegev, he wanted to invite people to the Negev, to the gate of the Negev. Sha'ar HaNegev is a regional municipality, include the kibbutzim around Sderot, include the kibbutzim Kfar Aza, Nir Oz, Nachal Oz, Mefalsim, and more. And Ofir, as you see, we are very similar, but not the same mother, as I know. But we are very similar. This picture actually is here in Boca 15 months ago. He came as a JNF speaker, and he came with Miriam Peretz, and their title was, 15 months ago, From Personal Resilience to National Resilience. Could you believe? Around less than 2 months before October 7th. It was in August, actually 14 months ago, August 23. Here in Boca, here in my house. He came, and every time he came to United States, or I'm going to Israel, around 5 times a year. We are meeting here, there, always. And another one, and Ofir, a month before, in July 23, as an executive director of Zionist education, I took a special group to Israel, head of schools and principals from all over the country to Israel for 8 days for seminar to learn about educational leadership and to meet in person people in the field, like as we met Ofri and we met Ofir in the field, not by Zoom, not by letter, not by movie, in person, in their field. And every year we used to do it. 1 second, oops. 1 second. Yes.
A few days ago, Mr. Eric Adam.
Okay. We will do something with the, we try maybe by the mic. We'll try. No.
Hold, please.
Sorry for a second. No. No, it's. No, actually, I think we need to restart it. I will do it without a presentation. Try to open it. It's a long click. Actually, restart. until it will start. And Ofir met this group in Nir Oz, and Nachal Oz, and Kfar Aza. And when we come to the kibbutz, Nachal Oz, first, of course, when you come to the kibbutz, you must visit where? At the dining room, Chadar Ochel. Okay, this is like typical kibbutz. And then I asked Ofir, please take us to the border, to the place behind Chadar Ochel, behind. Let's understand the complexity. What are you face every day? Because he used to say that 95% of the time we are living in heaven, Gan Eden. But 5% when the rocket starts, as a routine, every few months, year or two, most of the time every few months, 5% we are in the hell, or because the Yemen started now to shoot Israel, let's say in Yemen or in Teimanit, like Gehenom. So he took us to the border, and he say a few words that I never forget. We will try to restart the presentation so we can find his word in person. After try to find the PowerPoint. Okay. And he say, here is the border, and here is Nachal Oz, very close to Kfar Aza, to all the kibbutzim in Sha'ar HaNegev. And then here is the border with Gaza, here is Gaza, and also you can see the Hamas. And he say in his word, and maybe we will try to see it like firsthand. If they want to shoot us, they can shoot us. And he wasn't a naive person. Remember, he was like my brother, my dude. He was a visionary. He was a doer. He was someone that wants actually to make better life to his residents at his Sha'ar HaNegev municipality region. And, oh, Yofi, it's going to be. It's okay, it's okay, it's okay, it's okay. Yeah, yeah. That's it. Hopefully it will come. Anyhow, Ofir had a dream at the Eretz checkpoint to build a new industrial area for 12,000 people from Gaza Strip and another 12,000 people from Gaza envelope, today Israel envelope, to work together. And he had a dream, and he started to fulfill his dream. And the first one to be announced that he was killed at October 7th was Ofir Lipstein as a mayor. Because 6:29 a.m. at the morning, he understood that Kfar Aza, Kibbutz Kfar Aza, when he lived with his family, they are under attack. And at this moment, he took his gun and ran away to fight and to protect his family and his community, and he was killed immediately. An hour later, I received a call. I am here in Boca, Simchat Torah, and it was weird for me to receive a call by call, and the phone rang and rang, and to understand that something happened, and I answered during the holiday, and I understood that we lost Ofri, but we are in the middle also in the war. But nobody knew at that moment what is the meaning war, because I just try to remember and remind all of us that it will take a while that we understood where we are. Let's try to listen to his voice. Just click one time.
This is the border. You can see the agriculture and keep the border. This is what we are doing. Keep the border. We are 200 meters from the border. And like I said, inside, see, it's a wall. They used to dig tunnels from the house over there to our kibbutz. ולחלאות, וכבר עזה over there, to מפצים, to נרעם. And this is the story of living here on the border. They can see us now. If they want to shoot, they can shoot, but they need a reason for that. You know, they are not
They
shooting
need a reason
because
for
they
that,
understand
right?
that the army. And you can see here, you can see over there, you can see the border, and after that there is a Hamas base over there. You can see straight.
You see, he tried to focus on the Hamas, like kind of a few Hamasnikim that they were there. If they want to shoot, they can shoot us, but they need a reason for that. And he wasn't a naive. A lot of people ask me, okay, what now? What is the next? And I want also to connect what Ofri said, because we all, as Am Israel, Am Yehudi, we choose the life. We sacrifice the life. We need to remember. We need to memorize. We need to stop. We need to bring the stories and try to see how we can sacrifice the life, but actually bring the life and use the life every day and for the next future. And this is the main question that we are at the JNF deal every day. And one of the answers, and let's say one of the big answer, is Zionist education. As Ofri said, we want you to connect more to Israel. You, your family, your children, your grandchildren. It is an opportunity for everyone to connect, to be more united. Because I think what is for sure Hamas succeed, unfortunately or fortunately, is to connect us more. Because we are sitting here. We are sitting here a year, and in between, every day, sometimes every hour, we are listening and to see what's happened in Israel, what's happened to our relative in Israel, or to people that we don't know, our brothers and sisters. So we suggest all of us to connect more and more, and we have a lot of ideas and programs by JNF, by other organizations, but the idea is to bring more and more. I can say my role is to bring another 5 students to a new campus that we are building in Beersheba. We are right now with a special mission with 80 volunteers that they came to Israel to volunteer. Almost 4,000, please run, almost 4,000 people that volunteer at the south. And almost $80 million that we raised directly to deal with Israeli envelope and also with the North, direct with the mayors of Sha'ar HaNegev, Eshkol, and Sderot, and Ofakim, and all the rest, and to see what you need, exactly as you asked before. What do you need? And this is the question that is, and your representative, because JNF belongs to you as mine, as the rabbi said at the beginning. The idea is to see how we can support and be more united with our brothers and sisters. It's not about the money or the project, it's about connection and deep connection. And this is the opportunity for everything that we are doing for our brothers and sisters and for our beloved homeland, although we are living here. I would love to end with Michal Uziyahu. Michal Uziyahu, she is living in Eshkol region, Eshkol municipality. She's going to be the next mayor, I guess, because there is election very, very soon in November. But Michal give us the hope that Ofri spoke about, the rabbi spoke about, I tried to speak about, and I think to be united, to be connected to our brothers and sisters, this is the main point. Let's try to listen to her.
Our beloved region was 95% heaven before that fateful day. Jewish National Fund USA worked together with us, investing in new neighborhoods, youth centers, resilience training, and much more. But it wasn't only buildings that we built together. We built communities. We built tomorrow. And together, we chose life. Then, in one piercing moment, horror and darkness took over our lives. Hundreds of our community members were murdered. We lost our beloved friends. We lost our laughter, and we lost our innocence. We will never be the same like before October 7. But we are determined to be better and stronger. Jewish National Fund were here with us from day one, helping us to collect our pieces together, immediately evacuating our communities, supporting the local agriculture, supporting emergency teams, therapy in the resilience centers, and much, much more. They may have crushed our houses, they may have hurt us physically, but they did not break our spirit. Look around us. This place that we built together is worth fighting for. We choose life, and we will continue to choose life. We will continue to choose hope, tikva, our children, to invest in their future, in our future, because we are the people of the light, and we will continue always to choose life together.
We are people of the light, and we choose light and life together. Thank you so much.
That was such a good way to end with Michal, because Michal is amazing. She's amazing. I got to hang out with her. I got to have lunch with her at all these JNF sites in Israel. She's incredible. Can we get her here? How do we get her here to talk to us? Michal? Good, I want to get Michal here. We have to get Michal here. Yes. So, obviously, a huge thank you to all of you for being here. A huge thank you to Ofri, to Zohar, for our ability and our strength to work together. Just so you know, Ofri mentioned that she has art and that she's been using art for herself to express her feelings, her thoughts since October 7th. They are here, they are on sale. If you want to buy anything or talk to her about any of them, they are here and available. So we hope that we continue to go from strength to strength, and that I really feel that together within our unity, we can really fulfill the words of Am Yisrael Chai, and that we will get through this together from this darkness into the bright, beautiful light. So thank you again. Am Yisrael Chai. Hope you have a wonderful and easy and meaningful fast. Gmar Chatima Tova to everyone, and thank you for coming.